Hey, welcome back to I Confess with Travis. I'm your host, Travis Bartlett. And today, for this story that we're all going to agree on, is the housing marketing and the living cost, which I know we're going to be talking about is crazy. And I think this would be a really good opportunity to discuss why people nowadays who can't seem to get a house. I know I'm still struggling on trying to find a house, trying to save up every penny that I can make, overworking, doing overtime jobs and stuff, trying to make at least a quick buck to get me a place of my own. What I want to do, which I know this might sound crazy, but what I want to do is whenever I get me a house, I'm not going to be able to move until I die. Stay exactly where I am, and I will not go anywhere. The living cost is crazy. I mean, I would give you a number, but I think you guys already know what that number is when it comes to living in a house and also having no money at all. I mean, all I can actually say is it's hard to get a place of your own. It's hard to actually find a place that you want. I mean, and then especially if you want kids, that's going to be hard enough to find someone who wants to have kids these days so you can start a family in a house. Well, technically, making kids is not all that hard, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to start a family, then you might as well, try to get a job, get a car, get a house, and also a family. I'm not worried about the kids right now. I mean, in the future, I have a feeling that I may not ever get kids, even though I've been saying I want some, but all I can actually say is it's hard to get where you want to go, where you want to do, where you want to be. All I want to do is just move out of my parents' house and get a place of my own. And I know a lot of people out there are struggling till this day to actually find a place of their own as well, because I can tell you the housing marketing is gone through the roof. My mom was actually nice enough to let me live here rent-free so I can actually save up enough money to get my own place. And even though I still don't have money, and I know I'm going to hate to bring this up, but whenever I told you my identity was stolen and that $12,000 was taken away from me by Victor Moore and Brittany Jones, I'm still mad. That $12,000 that was taken away from me, I'm still upset about that. And I was just thinking, if that guy never stolen my identity, I could have gotten me a house. But I'm really happy and thankful that my mom is letting me stay here, live here. I mean, other than me having a job, also bringing in groceries, helping do stuff around the house. I mean, I don't mind doing that. But it's just, it's just hard to get your own place. I mean, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how a lot of people think that they can just, wake up one day and then they move in the next day and then it's like, you've already moved in. But what about the people that are actually struggling on trying to get a place of their own? There are people out in the streets living in cars, living in RVs, buses, planes, trains, boats, living in tents, which I know in certain areas it's illegal. But I'm actually happy that my parents are letting me live here rent-free, even though I still don't have money, which is crazy. With the world that was coming in to, I feel like it's just getting worse. I mean, it's like every time I try to save up a measly penny, and then it's like the next day, the housing marketing has rised up to like $10,000 more or $100,000 more, depending on where you live or whatever. Every time you save one measly penny, you still haven't gotten a place of your own. And you know it's hard to get a place of your own. I don't understand it's so hard to get a house. I mean, you hear people every single day complaining that there's literally not one single person in these generations, millennials, Gen Z, whatever, or whatever generation you are, we're already at that age where we cannot seem to get a house. I mean, you can get, let's say, a 16-year-old can actually buy a house in one day. But when you got other people out here struggling, it can take them like all day until they die, until they can never find a house. I just think if they lowered the housing marketing cost, it would be a lot easier. I mean, like, if you can buy a car, then you should be able to buy a house. And you should be able to, like, get it like that. But you got everybody complaining. Oh, I'm like 50 years old and still living in my parents' house, still looking for a house. 40, 30, 20s, teens are still looking for houses. Till these days. And to me, even though I live in my parents' house, I'm living in a tiny box bedroom. And all I can actually say is, I mean, I don't have room. My office is taken over. We do have another bedroom, but my parents won't let me use it, especially my sister, because for one, even though sometimes my little nephew wants to stay the night with us, then he gets that room. And even though his room is a little bit bigger than my room, I don't understand why I can't move his stuff into my room and move my stuff into his room, where I get a bigger room. Well, not big, but just like a regular bedroom room or whatever. And that would have made it a lot easier. Well, everybody's mad at me. Everybody doesn't want to move it. And I say, you know what? That's why I'm moving out. I mean, like, you're not going to let me get the bigger bedroom. I mean, he doesn't even live in this house. He and my sister don't live in this house. So it should be fair. Then I should get that room. And then my little nephew should get this room. I think that should be fair. But now it makes me mad because I'm living in a storage bedroom. Do anything. Like, I could be spinning around in circles in this room. But you know what? I'm going to try my best and save. And whatever money I have saved up, I'm going to use that to get me like an apartment or something. Because right now I cannot live like this. I feel like I'm living in a hoarder bedroom house. That's why I want to move out. If I ever do get a house or an apartment, I want to be able to get me a 2-bed house. Like, get me a 2-bed with one of them being a bedroom and the other one can be an office. Then I can use the rest of the house with the rest of the stuff. That's what I want. But everybody's like, well, just go get yourself a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm not going to fit everything in one tiny bedroom apartment. So what I've been doing, I've been jumping from house to house to house. My God, listen to me. I sound like an orphan who doesn't even have a house of his own. Well, I still don't have a house, but it's kind of like that. Then I started looking at trailers. Dirt cheap, but then you got to think about lot rent. And even if you want to live in a trailer, there's a lot of people that want to move the trailers out, and then you have to buy your own property and land and stuff, which I don't have all that money. I don't even have money to buy property, to install plumbing, power, or whatever. So what I'm going to have to do is either I'm just going to have to like buy me a trailer and just rent out a lot. So all I can say is that's all I'm going to have to do. I mean, unless I can find me a trailer for like $2,500, which I doubt I'm going to be able to find. But all I can actually say is, I'm still going to keep looking. I mean, yes, I'm upset, I'm frustrated, and I know it's not just me that's getting all frustrated. I know there's a lot of people out there that can't seem to get a place of their own. But all I can actually say is I'm just going to try my best. I mean, I might just continue looking at trailers and just go from there. I just don't understand, the housing situation. They can't just do something about it. I just don't understand why we couldn't just live in a house for free and just pay the government a certain amount of money just to live in a place, but yet they can't do anything about it, which is ridiculous. I mean, if I have to go live in a prison cell for free, I would do it. I mean, I can save a whole lot of money just living in a prison cell. I mean, I was thinking about living in my car. And, I could save so much money living in my car other than living in a house. I mean, yes, I will miss my stuff. Yes, I'll probably be living in suitcases. But all I can actually say is, at least it's something. But if I have to go live in my car, I'll do it. I mean, if I have to do it for one measly year just to save up enough money to get me a place to stay or a place of my own, I'll do it. Or if I have to end up selling my boxers for money or socks or do OnlyFans or Feet Finder or do porn or something just to make a little money, I mean, I'll do that too. But all I can actually say is, we got to try our best to make enough money to get a place of our own to stay. I know it's rough out there. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult for someone to actually get a place of their own. All I can say is I'm going to keep trying my best, and I'm going to go from there. So don't give up. Just do your best and just go from there. That's all I can say. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and I'll be right back to see if I can try to make a second call. But if not, I'll try my best to tell another story. I'll be right back. Hey, and welcome back. And today, instead of me making another phone call, I want to go ahead and tell you that I am no longer working for Frito-Lay, which is owned by Gilmer, but the company is a really good company to work for. It's just, they don't really pay a whole lot. When I started off as a temp, I was only making $10 an hour. And when you become permanent, you're making like $3.50 more, even though I was only working like 4 or 5 days a week. The only thing I can tell you is that when you work at a job temporarily for 90 days, they will make you permanent. Then when you're permanent, then you have to wait another 90 days to get insurance benefits, 401k, and so much. Which is crazy because when you're temporarily working there for 90 days and they make you permanent, they should automatically give you benefits, insurance, 401k, and so much. They should give you all that in only 90 days. Not wait another 90 days. You would have to wait 6 months to get it. And then, till this day, I left. Now, there were some problems here and there. That's just how jobs are. Instead of us having to lose our jobs or have us go find another job, they decide to go ahead and move us because we would lose our contracts. So don't work at a job if they're going to lose a contract. That's why I left, because I didn't want to deal with another contract being lost and then they transfer me to another location. Might as well go ahead and just find me another job, which I did. If you're working at a company where you're, contracted with the company, but you don't know if you're going to lose the contract or not. So I would just think about maybe finding another job so they don't end up transferring you to like one place to another. Even though they transferred me like 4, 5, 6 times to different Gilmore warehouses here in Macon, I just didn't want to get transferred anymore. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to quit and just find me a job. The position I was working in was making boxes. I was bored of making boxes. And they have these 3 machines that don't even work half the time. And then we got this big box machine that does not even want to make boxes. And then you get so frustrated because there's no boxes on the line. And you're the only box maker making boxes for 100 people by yourself with no help. You have to make boxes for both lanes. And it makes me so mad that I'm the only box maker, but you got people on both lanes, like 100 people on each lane, are snatching boxes left and right, and I can't even seem to keep up with it. But yet they want to talk about how I'm slow and people are yelling my name, talking about they need boxes. I get that, okay? I get that you need boxes. But that's not my fault. I can't make 100 boxes in 1 minute. They hired me, like I said in my previous episode, they hired me to make boxes because of my disability. Okay, not a problem. I can make boxes. So that's fine. But you're not going to give me any help making these boxes? I got irritated and I was tired of it. I'm not trying to make it sound like complain about me not wanting to make boxes. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like that. I don't mind making boxes. It's just not every day. I mean, I want to do something else. And see, with me, I'm one of those people who would want to learn newer things whenever. Have me work in shipping, or have me pick orders, or have me work in a bag, maybe drive a forklift or something. I don't know. But they didn't want to do that. So they made it seem like I'm the only box maker. Just one box maker, and then you got 100 people who want all these boxes. And I tell them all the time, I said, it's not fair that you're making me make all these boxes, but you got all these people who are actually getting a free pass into doing whatever, but yet there ain't any boxes on the line because I'm the only box maker. I just said, you know what? If they're not going to hire another box maker and then watching me struggle and then laugh about it, it's going to make me mad. I mean, like I said, I'm sorry that I can't make 100 boxes in a minute. I'm sorry I'm slow. I'm sorry I can't keep up with 2 lanes to fill them up with boxes. But yet you can't even hire another box maker to help you make boxes. And then they want to try to let me go over it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, find me a job, and then I'm going to quit. Like I just did. Management that is supposed to like help people whenever they see someone struggling. or if they have a disability of whatever. But yet you want to yell at these people and say it's their fault, but you don't want to help them out. And what I was told working in the Gilmer Industries, that management is supposed to help, just not all the time, just every once in a while. I mean, I feel like I went back into Kroger again, where they could not move me up. I was literally a courtesy clerk for almost 4 years. But what they would do is that they would hire newer people that's been working for the company for about like 3 weeks or even 1 month. And yet they're out here working in produce, dairy, meat and seafood or whatever. And it makes me mad that I've been a courtesy clerk for almost 4 years, but you don't want to move me up. And that's how it was with Gilmer. I kept asking them every single day. I said, when am I going to get moved up? When am I going to get moved up? When am I going to work in shipping? When am I going to work as a picker? I kept telling them every day. I just got irritated, mad as hell. And then every time I tell people, I don't want to make boxes anymore, and I want to learn something new, people want to get mad at me and say things like, oh, well, this guy can't even work a hard-working labor job. First of all, I've worked a lot harder than a lot of people in this entire world. I'm sorry that I'm the one who gets up at like 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, has to get up, get dressed, and then go straight to work at 7 in the morning every single day. But yet, you want to talk about how I'm being lazy, even though you got other people that don't want to do the job. Make that make sense. Okay, just because I don't want to do that job anymore is because I'm either bored of it or I'm just tired of it. And then y'all want to make up an excuse like, oh, well, this guy doesn't want to do the hard work and labor. This guy just wants to be lazy. This guy wants to do nothing in his life. First of all, mind your damn business, what I do. And second of all, if I don't want to make boxes, then I don't want to make boxes. Yes, I understand we need boxes made to fill the orders. But everybody wants to bitch at me, yell at me, telling me that there's no boxes on the line because they hire people like every single day. But right after I was about to leave, and this was like a week ago, right after I was about to leave, they already hired like 50 more people, and 5 of them are working, making boxes. And it made me so mad because I'm like, first of all, I had been asking for help to make boxes, but right after I'm about to leave, you're already hired 5 people on each side just to make boxes. But yet you want to yell at me for being the only box maker. Make that make sense. Even though that this was actually my last day, they decided to move me in shipping. Like I've been asking for the past few months that I wanted to work in shipping. And of course that made me mad as well. So if you work at a job and they don't want to move you up, and you work there for who knows how long, just get out. Just go find yourself another job if they're going to treat you like this. So, anyway, that's my story. And if you guys actually want to be on the podcast, please text 478-901-4445. That's 478-901-4445. And I will talk to you guys next week.